Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. And thank you for joining me in SpringWatch. This is 14 days worth of projects coming out back to back on YouTube and of course over on my blog. And today I have a floral box for you. I'm calling it a floral rectangular box simply because it's got a floral lid. You could, put any kind of pattern on it and it would work, and you could, so it doesn't really matter, but that's what I've called it. And this one's focusing on the Painted Blooms set, the Something Borrowed embellishments, and the Congrats comes from a Celebration stamp set. But I'm going to show you how to make it. You need two pieces, or one piece of card and one piece of paper. Your cardstock needs to measure 6 5/16ths of an inch by 4 15/16. So basically it is 1/16 of an inch less than, the full inch. So I will show you on my ruler, which hopefully if I zoom in, can you see that? There you go. So these markings here are 1/16ths of inches. Now on our scoring tool, they go down to 1/8 of an inch, which would be this mark here. It's the one slightly less, and that is how you get a box with a lid that perfectly fits over the top. And of course in metric, 17.7 centimetres by 12.7. And when you cut your cardstock, it's very easy. You score it at 1.5 inches, which is 4 centimetres, on all four sides. So you keep going round all four sides. Now the lid, much easier to do. That measures 4 by 6 inches, which is 15 by 10 centimetres. So completely, perfect, accurate pinpoint measurements. Then you score this one at 1 inch on all four sides, which is 2.5 centimetres. On all four sides. Okay, and this is the Painted Blooms paper as well. This is it's kind of like rose petals almost, but it's beautiful. The beautiful rose red, which is a colour that hasn't particularly featured in DSPs. Well, not really since I've been with Stampin' Up, which is, okay, granted, not even 2 years yet, but I've not seen rose red as being a focal point, and it very much is with the Painted Blooms, which is I'm very pleased about. And it's actually the opposite side to this one. So gently fold your score lines. I say gently because it is paper, and if you're a bit rough with it, it'll let you know by cracking and saying no, you're not using me. Because paper has attitude, Okay, so cut your score lines with these boxes. And hopefully you can, I don't know which side. Let me show you on here. Much easier. Cut in and notch in there and there. I've done it before on, you've seen me do notching. It just gives you that smooth, perfect, professional finish to your box. Because, nobody likes a wibbly edge, do they? I don't. So do that all the way round on both the top and the bottom. So last one on the box. Okay. So I hope everybody's enjoying SpringWatch. We did it on the bottom as well. I did SpringWatch last year and loved it. I loved the response I got, and the you were all so involved in it, and I got sent so many photographs I get sent lots of photographs anyway, which I love. I love to live vicariously through people who do workshops and use the projects in it, but I got sent particularly lots of SpringWatch projects, and it was really, really touching, and I loved it, so I decided I would bring it back. It's a lot of work, particularly as, depending on where this video is coming out in time, I might actually be in America right now, and obviously I film ahead of time, but I love to do it, and yeah, despite the hard work, it doesn't feel like hard work, if that makes sense. Okay, let's put this box together. So on all four of the tabs, I'm using Fuse. You need to use a strong adhesive. I'm very lucky that I have a job where I can just sit and play. because that's really what it is. I just play with cardstock and bend bits of paper, and I do rubber stamping, and yeah, I can't imagine a time when I haven't done it. Or rather, I can't imagine a time when I haven't been part of Stampin' Up, I should say. So I'm using snail on the paper one, just because I can be a little bit heavy-handed with fuse, and I have been known to rip tabs off. So we're forming the lid in exactly the same way as we formed the base. And that, because of that sort of 2mm, 1/16 of an inch difference, means that it fits absolutely perfectly over the top. And then we'll just do a little bit of stamping. So I've got my Whisper White cardstock. I have got the Simply Wonderful stamp set. Now it's this one here, but I didn't want the wibbly bit because I wanted it particularly to be this shape. So, I've got it ready, prepped on my block. So I've got a Stampin' Right marker in the matching rose red. And you take the fat end and you come sideways to it. Don't draw on it like that because you'd damage your tip. And I'm just coming over the word because that is all I want inked up. And then I've got my decorative label punch to go around it. And I've got a sponge. Now if you are somebody who's building your collection of inks and you haven't actually got the ink pads themselves, just use a marker because it's the same ink inside, and again you just come on sideways to your sponge with your marker and you get all of the ink on there that you need to sponge the edges. And I forgot to punch out my pansy punch, so I'll do that in a second. So the pansy punch for this bit in the centre, and do exactly the same. There's probably enough ink left on there from the pen to not have to even re-ink. Cool, huh? Isn't that clever? And then I'm going to curl up the edges of this. So just grab your bone folder as though you're curling ribbon, just into the petal edges. And I've got the beautiful Something Borrowed embellishments. Aren't they beautiful? They're so gorgeous. How many did you get? You get 12 in a pack. That's pretty good. I'm going to take a mini glue dot onto the back of one, or the back of it, to go into the centre of my flower. And then onto my box lid, I'm going to put some snail, because I've got my linen thread here, and I'm just going to create a bundle of loops. And it's got a kink in it. If you haven't seen me give you this tip before, again, bone folder, just pull it across your linen thread and it takes the kinks out. So just have a whole load of random loops going on there and stick it very technically onto that bit where you've put the snail before. Mini glue dots onto the back of this, and I'm going to put a handful of onto here. I have 3, I think. And that's partly because, well, obviously I want it to stick down very well, but some of it's going to stick partly onto the linen thread, but also partly onto the paper. Into there. And then dimensionals wherever they are. And behind my wording, behind my little sentiment. And tuck it in just slightly under there. And that's my pretty rectangular floral box. I hope you like it. Different colours, but still pretty. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you're enjoying SpringWatch too. Bye.